Let Imisi be on your team and depend on her to win. You go fail.
Which one?
What did Imisi do for you guys? It's not die. What did she play?
This guy does a talk.
It's not die. Put Imisi in a serious game. Try it.
Why are you
Try it. Try it now. Chebi, you believe in Imisi? Put her in a serious game. You go see she game. It's not dice she's playing. Every time she plays a game, it's either Orienta A or dice. Put her in a real game. They said she should limbo. See, they said she should limbo. She went backwards twice. Oh God! They said limbo. Do like this. She
She don't get idea of this thing.
They showed her.
See, I don't want you to judge her based on.
At the end, she was not laughing.
I want crazy.
But you don't say they take that passport. That passport don't make you crazy. The passport they don't find you on time.
That one make me crazy because going is after everything. I think for you
I'm very sensitive right now. It doesn't matter.
What team were you on with them? Remember was my team. She was in you're either in all these all this TikTok generation.
Leave them now.
You dey talk to the king of TikTok. You say your mouth no even strong about it.
You like
you picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, you can't beat them, join them. Okay. Yesterday when you go, I look around, see now me be the oldest for this house now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Kola, no worry.
I said an old man in the midst of small fishes.
All this Chihuahua generation. No worry.
Okay, careful.
Hold their old age.
You can't shut up.
Kola, it's so surprising that you're
now forever foolishness.
You really are?
I'm old now, an old man.
Don't do that.
No.
Eat it.
Wow.
You don't even know the owner.
Oh, hey, it's not for you. Let's put it back.
Wait, do you split it back? Everybody just stupid. I don't have any fucking.
In a moment, I will come back to the palpable awkwardness, that thing that is happening between Koyi and Dede. But let us start with the banter this morning. It seems like these housemates, they don't get over stuff. You know why I said that? Because I don't know if it's because it has become like a pattern, or if it's that this morning's banter was basically meant for Imisi. By the way, when this whole banter was going on, Imisi was sleeping. Oh yes, she was sleeping, having a nap, long sweet nap. As a matter of fact, Kayode carry camera go show Imisi. Imisi's face was not even showing. Her head was literally under the duvet. So girl was just having a good time while her name was being mentioned left, right, center by these housemates, especially Faith. We'll get to all the conversation, but first off, thank you so much for joining me. I know some of you have already liked the video, so thank you so much. But if you haven't, please do so. Kindly click on the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are not, and turn on notifications so you get notified once I upload new content. Now let's get into this whole banter in the morning, and I kind of like understand why Kola was defending her, because at the end of the day, if he puts himself in the equation in the grand scheme of things, he's probably going to be next. So it is better for him to support Imisi now. Do you get? Besides, she's a sister. Also, like I said, it feels like they don't let go of stuff. Do you get? This whole thing with anybody that represents a group and the group fails, and maybe the person fails, and because of that failure the group fails, or sometimes even just that it may not necessarily be that person's failure that led to the group failing, but anybody that fails in a group becomes like a target. I really don't like it. Do you get? Like, I don't like it because it's a competition. Someone has to fail, a group has to fail, and yes, failing can feel bad, and it can be demoralizing, right? But I kind of like just feel it is unfair most of the times. If you're the idea of putting the whole blame of the team's failure on one person and then speaking about it over and over again, I feel like it can impact a person in a bad way. Do you get? It is better that you talk about it with the person in a way that, you know, I mean, Faith has spoken with her in a good way before. Now it's like, I'm just going to have my outburst in peace, right? But I'm just saying that the way that he spoke to her before, but that was after their fight in the kitchen, and he was like, this is the reason why I was pissed at you. Then they still had it good to a certain extent. They were not so broken apart the way that they are right now. So he had that conversation with her outside in the garden, and she didn't really like take it well, and that was when she told him that she has heard but she has not forgiven him for what he did. Now today they are talking about the last task that they had, and it wasn't just Imisi, by the way, that didn't do well in that task. There was also culture as well that didn't really do so well in that task. I remember when Joanna, Ruboy and Dede were still at bed and breakfast, Joanna was crashing out because she was attributing her team's loss to Culture's bad outing at the game, at the task, and he was trying to calm her down, and they had a whole it wasn't really a fallout but like a real heated banter because of that, because he was also referring to Dede, and it was a whole thing. So now back at the house, it's the same conversation all over again. And the reason why I'm saying this can be demoralizing for the other person is because when you are in a team and people keep talking about your failure, do you get, over and over again, sometimes you may even know something like what they were saying about Culture. Faith was saying that he had already practiced with Culture, right? And Culture was giving him the best answers, right? He was good. To Faith, they had practiced enough, but at the arena he had like a very terrible outing. And sometimes it could just be that people have stage fright, or maybe it's just anxiety. I think it's the same thing as stage fright. You may know stuff. I mean, have you ever been in an exam where to type top, you don't know the spelling of top, and you have to ask someone? It happens to even the best of us. And in as much as, yes, failing can feel a certain type of way, and it can be annoying, it can be painful, but now putting a team's failure all the time on one person because they had a bad outing, most of the time it does more harm than good. I feel like in the moment, especially if maybe the person was, well, I'm going to talk about the laughing part, okay, but this thing has become like a recurrent theme, and then Faith saying, I would rather not have Imisi on my team. Right now, what Faith is saying is something that other people also have on their mind. The problem is they don't say it out loud, and it is more like, I would rather not have this person on my team. Remember the whole thing with Kola and also Sultana? There was a time that it became so bad that Doris said she's a what was the word that Doris used, and it became an issue because it was like people were rejecting Sultana from being on their team. Like if they had the opportunity to choose, she'll probably be the last person they would choose to be on their team. Why? Because she doesn't do so well on tasks, or rather she's not putting all her effort when it comes to tasks. And it's also almost like the same thing with Kola as well. Kola had not won stuff, do you get, especially with tasks. It was like if Kola is on a team, you bet that the team will lose. And it's also interesting because in as much as Doris was so active, she also never won a task, do you get? And people didn't say, oh, I'm not going to choose Doris. Why? Because she was putting in a lot of effort and people could see that. So what about for people like that? So someone can put in their best effort and your team will still lose. It is only a problem when that visible effort is something that you probably think was not enough. And again, what if it was the person's best effort and the person didn't still get it right. Just because you are in the background watching and thinking that you will do better if you are the one that was there does not necessarily mean that that would be the case all the time. Yes, there are people that have had winning streaks, and oh yes, I do agree with Faith. There are just certain things that is by sheer hard work, and is not about whether you were creative or whether people are just picking on you or not. There are just some people that put in the work. Yes, I would even categorize in that space people like Faith and even Doris in the same category. They work really hard. They put in the background work. Even Koyin as well. They put in the background work. Any task beforehand, they will sit down, they will work on it, they will practice. That is what they do. For other people may not necessarily be like that in that way, right? So for those people, if they go and they have a bad outing, then they can say, okay, at least I put in my best. But for other people, it may not be the case. And I understand where Faith is coming from in that angle. Now, let me get to the part where people go have a bad outing and then laugh about it. I think also that is also very terrible. In as much as failing is part of the game, because obviously people have to fail, others have to win. I also feel like it is terrible sportsmanship if you fail and you laugh. Do you get? Because you are representing people and they are counting on you, right? So I think it is irresponsible for you to fail and to laugh about it. Now, I don't care if you come back to the team and say, oh guys, I'm sorry or not, because I don't think that is the most important thing. I think a personal resentment for failure, not necessarily that you are apologetic to the team, but as an individual, shows a better sense of responsibility than even coming to apologize to them. For instance, if they know that you are someone that wants to win and put in your best to win, if you fail and you don't even come back to them to say, oh guys, I'm sorry, they would understand that you did your best. Do you get? I feel like nobody would be angry if Doris had an outing and failed just because they think she was supposed to come back and apologize to them. Nobody said that to Doris, by the way. I don't think anybody did. If someone did, please let me know in the comments. So it's a thing of expectations and your personality as well, and what people know you for. So for Imisi is creative. Imisi is not really the person that she doesn't do a lot of background work the way that people like Faith will put in work. And there are people like that. There are some people that they don't even put in background work and they still pass, they still do well. Do you get? So if Imisi was the type of person that didn't need to put in a lot of work, but she still wins on the pitch, Faith wouldn't say she is not disciplined, right? We'll probably call it grace or whatever, but it would definitely not be like, oh, she's indisciplined, because she's winning. Now they say, now who then catch be thief. Do you get? So in this case, he can call her indisciplined because she loses, or maybe because she laughs after she loses. I don't know. Sometimes too, for people, it's a coping mechanism, right? It's not like they like to lose, but they lose, and instead of them to be sore losers, they laugh about it to keep themselves steady. So at the end of the day, I do not blame Faith necessarily for saying that he would rather not have her on his team, because like I said, there are so many people in that house that have that as a thought, but they won't come out boldly to say it. I am also not going to blame Imisi for failing. The only thing I'll blame her for is probably laughing. But again, like I said, some people, it's just their way of coping, because I don't think that anybody enjoys failing. I don't think anybody would want to put themselves in a place where they fail or their team failed because of them. So it is unfair first to anyone who, because of them, the team failed, for the housemates to keep dragging it over and over and over and over again. This conversation has lingered for so long. It always comes up. People are always referring to one thing or the other that they did. Like I said, it was culture the other day. Mrs. Zone has been recurring. Color Zone is almost like inherent at this time. They even take him serious anymore. He just has consoled himself that there are just some things he's not good at, and he's not going to kill himself because of that. There are other areas that he's good at, that he shines, and he's just good with that. Oh, and yes, I wanted us to talk about the way that Dede and Koyin are being awkward in each other's presence. I noticed it. I mean, yesterday night they had that conversation, but this morning, I don't know. I feel like they will get to a place where they are back to almost normal. And the reason I think that is because it's a friendship at the end of the day. Do you get? Except either of them had. I mean, like, I feel like because Koyin had an agenda going into the friendship, I think that is where the issue would come from. Dede Koyin is her friend. As a matter of fact, she's seeing the guy as her younger brother. I don't know. Koyin is your elder. Do you get? I mean, why would you think that Koyin is your younger brother? But again, okay, I feel like Koyin is the one that went into the friendship with agenda, and that is why he saw. That's why he was crashing out yesterday. And yes, he was crashing out because Dede hadn't said anything. He was the one that was doing media rounds with the boys and then with Isabella, and making it seem as though Dede is going to be angry for whatever reason. The only reason why Dede was even saying, oh, that she has narratives to feed, and so she's going to come and break up, sleep close to Koyin's bed, is because of what people think in the house. People think that their relationship is weird because they are not friends with other people. Why would they be friends with each other? It was because of that, not necessarily that she does not want him to be in another ship. At least that's not how I see things from the way that Dede has been behaving. So it's Koyin probably wanted the friendship also to get to maybe a situationship. I don't know, because the weirdness is mostly from Koyin. Again, do you get? So I feel like at the end of the day, hopefully they can resolve whatever differences that is lingering between the two of them. And like I said, yeah, Koyin has to be the one to drop the whole charade of they no really send in relationship with Isabella like that. Like, do you get? After all, she has her own with Kola. She's even enjoying bliss with Kola, so she's not really thinking of Koyin and Isabella's relationship. Again, I don't think that she actually wants to break it up. I do wish them well though. Anywho, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, all that good stuff as always. And thank you so much for supporting and watching.